First the fat boys break up, and hey, till I wake up, somebody got a problem with ego. Yup, it's perfect. Oh my gosh, bro. Why y'all make me have to make this video, man? So let's get to what really happened in the issue here. Emmanuel Navarrate just fought a Filipino cat named Suarez, and the fight ended in controversy. Point blank period. The Suarez dude tapped Navarrate with a vicious shot, just let off on him, right? Landed, flush. All of a sudden, Navarrate has a nasty cut on his face, right? And the cut stopped the fight and ended. The ringside doctor said the fight, we can't keep going because of this cut over Navarrate's left eye, right? So the fight ended, and really, if a person's unable to continue, that should have been a TKO for Suarez, right? But they said it was caused by an accidental headbutt, and now there's reports coming out that are suggesting they will take this and make it a no contest, no decision, right? So I think everything I said was pretty straightforward. Wrong again. In come the usual suspects, the negative Nancys, the resistance. The resistance wants you to believe that this is analogous to Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach, which is pure stupidity. First of all, Roach fighting Tank, they're getting a rematch, right? This fight, Top Rank says they want to do a rematch. They said Suarez deserves a rematch, but Navarrate says he's indifferent and doesn't know if he wants to do a rematch. So right then and there, completely different circumstances and scenarios. Second, boxing fans and media are very good for this. What they will do is take two completely different circumstances and pitch it as one and the same. Like, there's a controversy here in fight A, and there's a controversy here in fight B. So two fights with controversy, they must be exactly the same. Life does not work like that. That is not how that works, right? Where just because two fights have some inherent controversy, it does not mean that the fight is in any way, shape, or form similar, right? That's just such a weird notion that people would even attempt to make that a thing in boxing. Point blank period. So I don't see any similarities in the two fights. What happens is you got Tank haters, and Tank got a lot of haters. So what these haters do is they conspire and almost wait for these opportune times, or sometimes inopportune times, and they try to make everything look like somehow, some way there is a connection, and somehow, some way this is one and the same. And they're really individual circumstances that are not alike. And that's why we're here today. Now, I know what some of you guys are thinking. You're like, best in the business, boxing ego, and it's not even close. Why is it so different? Please explain why it's so different. I think it's the same. Tell me why it's so different. Why? Oh my God. That's how y'all sound to me, right? It's different because in the Tank Davis fight, there was a controversy that really didn't get resolved in fight, and it blew up. I blew up before it screw up. Got introduced to the gang, got it out, it blew up, right? It blew up after the fight. People started petitioning and wanting things done and changed after the fight. Much, much harder to do as opposed to the Navarrate situation. In the fight with Navarrate and Suarez, they noticed that the mistake was made right then and there. And also, it was in a completely different state, California versus New York State Commission. So each commission, they're going to operate subtly different. You know what I mean? So completely different circumstances in that the Tank taking the knee or whatever was a ref decision. And for whatever reason that given night, it wasn't reviewed or anything like that. And the fight concluded. So that's totally different, because if in the Tank Roach fight, they did what they did here and convened and discussed it, you could get a resolution right there. What you don't do is let the rest of the fight play out for the remainder of the rounds, and then you see round 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then days later, because the public has an outcry on the internet, now all of a sudden we want to change an instant replay. It doesn't work like that. So I had to make this video really to set the record straight, because the usual suspects, the resistance, they're going for it. Anything they can do to try to bring a fighter that has nothing to do with it. You have Navarrate, he's a Mexican fighter. Tank's a black fighter. They're different promotions, different fight styles, different weight classes, different. These fights, these outcomes are not different. Navarrate fight absolutely deserves a no contest. And it's like the race fans, I'm going to tell you what this is about. The race fans are angry that it looks like for the Mexican fighter, Navarrate, they are going to reverse this to a no contest, no decision. It really should be, if we're being technical, a Suarez win, because if you're unable to compete based on a legal scoring shot that was clean, that was not caused by a headbutt, then that's really a TKO. So it really shouldn't even be a no contest, no decision. But again, you got a Mexican fighter, and some people, the race fans at least, are upset that he's going to get this fight reversed, most likely, and the pressure is going to be on him to have a rematch. Versus Tank, Lamont Roach's side complained, and then the commission didn't see fit to reverse anything, so it remained a draw. And that's what should happen in both circumstances. They are not the same. We are not alike.